Welcome to Ngosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Welcome to Ngosi Talk Show. Find your own voice. Lead from within. Over to you, Carol Ann. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Lovely. And good afternoon from London and wherever you are in the world. Really happy to be here today with this topic. Yes, so as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So I'm Carol Ann, the writing facilitator, unlocking the writer within. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. Over to you, Amanda. Please introduce yourself to our audience. Can you hear us properly?
Yeah, now I can. I think it's because I wasn't muted and then I muted it and that was better.
Okay.
My name's Amanda Cottrell. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I am a teacher, an author, and an illustrator, and my job is to empower people's unique creative capacities within themselves. And so I help people to find what it is that they're creative at, because I believe that everyone has their own unique creativity. And when you find that, you can empower your life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. So our topic today is trust the process, no matter how difficult it is in your life. Sometimes we think that we can fix everything, but sometimes it's nice to actually step back and say, okay, I'm gonna trust that everything is gonna work according to how it's meant to be. But as long as you keep taking actions and not giving up. So Amanda, please, how can you explain the topic to our audience and how is it relate to you?
Well, I really liked this topic that when you have to trust the process, because sometimes there's things that come up in your life that can be like heartbreaking and you don't know how you're going to make it through, and you like logically keep like rotating things through your brain about how you can make things work and how you can force something through, and sometimes things can't be forced. I think about this through the lens of relationships. Like there's so many people who've had different relationships throughout their lives, and when you're devastated when one ends, you have to trust the process, because something even better is coming around your corner, even if you think that person was like the most wonderful thing to come into your life. Or even with you can look at it through the lens of jobs too. So if some people have lost a job or something and they're devastated by losing their job, and then something even better comes around the corner that they could have never thought of. And when you trust the process and you really find that trust within yourself, then you open yourself up to having more doors open. When you close yourself off and aren't open to new experiences, then that likelihood of the doors opening maybe will take longer. And so for B, it really means a lot to trust that the doors will open when they're meant to. One thing that I started doing was I started writing children's books, and my original plan was just to write one book, and it was going to be in my classroom, and that was my only plan. And I was just going to make it on my Mac, and that was it. And the universe had a different plan for me. So through meeting people, somebody connected me with someone on Facebook who knew how to self-publish on Amazon, and so I took a course with her, and then that opened up other doors, and then they just continue to, and then even connecting with you guys, just doors open all the time when you're open to allowing things to come into your life. And I think that's something that we really have to look for, but also to not hold on to those past things that you were hoping would work out. So from the bottom of your heart, because I know sometimes that you think that something is really meant to be, and you hold on to it, and then when you hold on to that too long and you don't trust the process, you can miss other doors that are going to open for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. Over to you, Carol Ann, please.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that Amanda made there, is that you can, if you're not open to allowing things to come in, you can miss something. And I think this topic, trusting the process, is something that I've learnt over time. I've realized this is one of my life lessons, is trust. And it's just got deeper and deeper. And every time something doesn't go the way I wanted it to, or I thought it would, I stop and I go, okay, there's just another level here of trust that's being tested. What first came to mind when this topic was actually put forward was when I knew that I had to step out of teaching, or shift the amount of time that I was teaching, and move from full-time to part-time. And I was trying to sort it out in my head. How could I make this work? And I ended up going off ill because of various other reasons. And but at the end of that, when I was off ill, I was then given, offered a package to actually leave. So having gone off ill a year later, I'm then out of a job. And all my thoughts and plans of, well, how could I make this work? Because I was attempting to make it work within the post that I was in. Go part-time teaching, go part-time setting up my business. And the amount of times I tried it and sorted it out in my head. And now I found myself, I didn't have a job. And then a few months later, I saw a post advertised, part-time teaching maths in a post-16 college. I went for the interview, got the job. Part-time teaching, part-time able to set up my business. And all of a sudden I went, oh my goodness, the universe already had it sorted. I couldn't have foreseen that happening. And if only I'd let go of the trying to control it, or trying to see how it was going to work sooner, I would have actually saved myself a lot of headache, a lot of worry, a lot of stress. And I could have maybe enjoyed what I was going through more. Okay, I wasn't well, but I added to it by worrying. And So yeah, we can't foresee what the universe has got in the future for us. We just have to trust that something will open up. If we're clear on what it is we want and hold that intention and be in the present moment and enjoy that moment, as Amanda said, doors open. And over the years, so many doors have opened. It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm intrigued with this topic. And also what came up when I started doing more personal development work, there was one particular coach who used to run these personal development training weekends. And one of his key teachings was trust the process. And when people used to question, well, what are we supposed to do here? What's going to happen? He'd just go, trust the process. Or he'd point to it on the wall because he'd written it, on the flip chart and put on the wall. So it's like, okay, trust the process. And all suddenly became revealed later on as we just worked through whatever it was, whatever activity he was getting us to work through. The learnings came out of it in the most amazing way. So yeah, it's but it is hard at times. It certainly gets tested.
Thank you so much, Carol Ann and Amanda. I like it, Carol Ann, when you say it's hard, basically to trust the process. And Amanda, you talk about you have to allow things to come to you. You have to. That's what number one thing that you have to do. That I am going to allow, whether the universe or God, to actually give me what I deserve. Normally what I do is myself, I plan everything. Everyone talks about write goals. I write my goals. I write everything. If I'm faced with the challenges and those goals are not they're not working, or something goes completely wrong, I don't react. I don't get angry or get upset with myself, which I used to. Carol Ann, you say it's really hard, but it's something that I had to work on myself, that okay, things are not working, and I refuse to react to the situation. I remember one day during lockdown, because the business was affected, and I wanted to pay my business loan. I wanted to pay different things, and I was like, okay, I'm no clue how am I going to pay this. But I'm not going to be stressed with the finances, because at the end of the day, I'm going to find a solution. And my health, I'm not going to find this. I'm going to affect my health if I choose to go the path of worrying. So I remember I was on the stairs. I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to calm down. And then I decided not to worry, not to do anything, but just to see whether I can have a plan. And then I get up in the morning, and I realized that I didn't have to worry, because the money is there. So I can just cut down on buying this and buying that, and then everything will be sorted out. So I decided I'm going to cut this, I'm going to not do this. And I'm going to trust the process, that instead of when I'm praying now, what I do, instead of saying, God, I want this, I want that, I request for my destiny. I want my destiny, how it should be, because I might say this is what I want, but that's not what is written about me. So I just say, just let my way be let how things my way meant to be, how things are meant to be in my life, let it be. And sometimes I find that the way I used to do things, and now I keep my life very simple. I'm just trusting the process. I'm learning, basically, when I'm said, Carol Ann, I stand still. Like the way you say, don't make yourself wrong. I try not to make myself wrong. I'm listening when you guys speak. I listen. Try not to make myself wrong. Listen to the music and calm down. and try to find a solution of the problem. So Amanda, over to you.
Sometimes I think trust, like especially right now with COVID and everything, that trusting the process can be so hard. I know this last month and a half has been really hard for me because I'm a teacher and my class got put on quarantine because there was cases in my class, and then we got back to school for a week, and then we had to go back on to online school for another 2 weeks, and so it's been like a very long, trying process of just like trusting that eventually this will end and that eventually we will get back to being able to get to the things that we love. And I think sometimes we can look at what's going on in the world right now as a chance to be grateful for those things that we can't do right now. So for me, it's yoga. Like yoga was such an outlet for me, and I don't do as much of it at home as I would go to the studio, and I just value the studio so much more now that I can't go. I don't know if it's open where you are, but where I am, that there's no yoga studios open, like no gyms or anything, and I'm realizing right now how much that helps my mental health, how much that helps me with everything, and to balance my life. And so instead of feeling lost and struggling with it, I'm trying to trust the process. Sometimes it's really, really hard to trust it, that things will get better and we will be able to open things up again, and maybe people will just be that much more grateful for those things that they took for granted at different points in their life. And even taking for granted being able to have a barbecue or to go over to people's houses for dinner. That's something that's really missing right now. And I know that those things I will be so much more grateful for when things do open up again. And so trusting the process, that maybe we're meant to learn something through this, even though we don't understand why things are happening the way they are right now, that we need to trust that we will learn something no matter what, even no matter how hard it is. Because I know I've talked with a number of people whose mental health is struggling through this. And I think that maybe that's something that we all have to trust as a society, to realize that maybe that COVID will help us open up and be able to talk about mental health in a more open way, and it not be sort of like a closed door hush hush thing. And I know that is happening with like Let's Talk Day and mental health weeks and stuff like that. But I think that people really are starting to open up and realize that their mental health is so affected by what's going on in the world right now. And when we can trust the process, that maybe it's just meant to help us recognize that we have to be able to talk about these topics.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. Over to you, Carol Ann, please. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, there was. I definitely agree with the fact that this whole time is highlighting a lot of things and making us aware of things that, yes, we took for granted. And so when they're taken away, then they come back. Hopefully people will be more grateful and understand what gratitude is. And maybe it's teaching us that lesson of gratitude, because as we've said it in previous talks, gratitude is what creates happiness within you. And when you're grateful for something, you can't be down in that well of despair or depression. And so it helps very much your mental health. So yeah, I love the way, Amanda said that it is highlighting things that we have taken for granted. And I picked up on something that you said, Nomsa, about trying to find a solution. There's that word trying has got a lot of effort in it. And it's actually about letting go of that word. And it's, instead of trying to find a solution, it's the allowing of a solution to come to you. It's the letting go of the try and allowing something to come to you, because that's the trusting the process, because that's what then allows for you to relax, for your creative brain to work and to come up with a solution, you know. And there was something, a story that Brandon Bayes tells, and I remember hearing, and it just popped in my head just now, and it's where if you know, somebody's in the sea and they're struggling, and you throw them a life jacket and they just keep going like this, trying to get to it, the actual life jacket goes away from them. They're pushing it away. Whereas if they just relax and allow, the life jacket will actually come and bob towards them. So again, it's that letting go of the trying, the franticness, because then you do push away what is there to support you. And I've always loved that story when I first heard it, and it's a long time since I thought of that, and it just popped in my head as we were talking. And yesterday was one of those days that I really had to trust the process. And I know when I read your message, Nomsa, yesterday, this afternoon, evening, I think it was, about what this topic was for today, I was like, oh yes. And I was in tears, because it's like all day I had been struggling with the fact that I just couldn't seem to get anything done. I was in one of those spaces, I was so tired, I just couldn't think properly, my head hurt and I couldn't focus, and I had things I needed to get done, and I was making myself wrong, and I just had to let it go. And when I saw, you know, say your message, it's like, oh yes, perfect reminder. Just trust the process. This is part of something that is happening right now. Let go and be with the fact that I couldn't get much done, and I just sat and watched the telly. And then before I went to bed, I got 3 emails sorted and sent, 1 drafted, ready to send this morning. I woke up this morning, boom, boom, boom. I've done a lot of things, answered some of the texts that I've been putting off sending, replying to some other messages that I'd put off replying to, comments in my Facebook group that I wanted to reply to, but I couldn't yesterday. I just did it this morning, and I feel in a completely different space. So, yeah, when you're in that space, it's hard, because there is that element of try. And so recognize when you're trying and just breathe, let go. And I just thought, well, however long it takes for me to get this done is however long it takes. And just trust the process, that the timing is perfect. There is such a thing as divine timing. You know, it's not always our timing as we would want it. So, yeah. Gratitude, letting go, and allowing. So let go of the word trying. Yeah. You up for that?
Go of your trying, of trying.
I just had a comment to add to Carol Ann's. I think that that's something that we forget about, is to be gentle with ourselves when we feel like things aren't going the way that we want, and we want things to I think, I don't know what it was about yesterday, but I was like a teary mess for most of the day too, because there's so many things that I've been wanting to accomplish and wanting to happen in my life, and they haven't been happening, and I just was like sad like all day for like the last 2 days. And I think that sometimes we have to just be gentle with ourselves and allow ourselves to feel that, so that when the next day we can wake up and we can feel better, and we just have to trust the process, that maybe we just had to like feel sad for a day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is. But then once we allow ourselves to feel that and we don't block it, then we're allowed to move through, then we allow ourselves to move through, let go of that sadness, and get into something more positive again. Because I think there's so much focus on that toxic positivity too, where sometimes if you just try to push through no matter what, you're not allowing yourself to feel those feelings, or you're not allowing yourself, your body and your mind, and to process what you need to process. And sometimes it's okay to be sad, or it's okay to be mad, or it's okay to just be down for a few days, and if it doesn't, and trust that you have to feel those feelings, and not try to block them and hide them, because if you block them and hide them, they're just going to keep popping up again and again. And so trusting that you do just need to feel those and go through that process, because those feelings and those emotions and the sadness, that's part of the process, as much as you want to block it and push it away and run away from it. And I said to my friend, I was like, I just want to sleep through when I feel this way. Like, I just don't want to feel it. I just want to sleep through it and then wake up and not feel so so sad, and not feel sad in front of my daughter. But I think too that it's important for kids to see parents feeling their emotions, because if we are always hiding it and putting on a brave face for our children, they don't recognize that when they're feeling those emotions, that they're allowed to express them, or that they're allowed to feel them. And so if they don't see adults feeling their emotions and trusting that at that point in time, it's okay to feel those emotions and those feelings, and eventually you will be able to move on and to send your emails and to get back on track. But you also have to sometimes kick yourself in the butt and be like, okay, enough of my wallowing in my own self-pity, and get back on track. But I think there is definitely a space where you need to just allow those feelings to happen.
I think there's also the recognition of where we are in the lunar cycle as well, because the moon has such an impact on us. There's a full moon tonight. You know, we're coming up to that full moon, and that's some really powerful energies. And there's also there's a lunar eclipse at the same time. So, you know, if you have that awareness of where you are in that cycle, you might start to notice patterns of behavior, of, you know, ups and downs as well, and then go, oh, okay, and be able to ride those patterns of behavior and feelings and energies that are actually pulling you in different ways, and creating that you know, feeling of where you are, that sort of lowness or difficulty, or feeling like you're struggling with something. So yeah, it's something worth exploring and looking into, because I really, you know, do sort of believe in the energies of the moon. And I know there's other things to do with the planets which also have a big impact, and I'm not quite so up on those. I hear odd things, but definitely the moon. Definitely the moon. I mean, when you think about the pull it has on the tide in the sea, and I mean, that's huge, the ocean, and it has that power to do that to the sea. What is it doing to us when we're 3/4 water as well, you know? So, yeah, just let's have those other awarenesses as well.
Yeah, you need to have faith. You need to trust, and because sometimes we tend to focus on the negativity, we don't focus on like Amanda, you were saying, it's good to have gratitude when it comes to life, because if you are grateful of something, or if things are not going well your end, have faith and still trusting the process. Maybe shift your focus in helping someone else that can help you as well, not to dwell on what you are going through. And embrace everything, the failure and everything. Basically, for me, I like yesterday. I was sitting. Actually, I was listening to something, and I was like, after listening to it, I was like, like sometimes there are some people that they tell you that you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I stopped telling people what to do based on my process when it comes to life. I see that when somebody tells me what to do, it doesn't go into my head. But when I sit down with someone and we have a conversation and I confide in them and say, this is what I'm going through. And that person, if they help me through because I've opened up and allowing them to actually give me words of encouragement or just open the path and help me to go to where I need to go, because I'm allowing somebody to help me. And I find that it comes into my head, that direction, and then I'm trusting the process, and I'm also trusting the words that have been spoken, and those words, they help me because I'm the one that has asked for those words. So yesterday I was listening to this, and after I finished, and I was like, okay, I'm a Christian. Do I need to wear makeup? That's why today I'm not wearing makeup. So this is my new journey. So I'm like, if somebody had told me before, don't wear makeup because you are a Christian, I would never understood it. But I was listening to this pastor, and he was explaining this is what you need to do as a Christian. So I was like, okay, I don't need makeup anyway. So I need to see this journey without makeup. So today I was like, I'm going to keep things simple. I'm going to go online without makeup, and I'm going to trust the process that I was created the way I am, and I'm going to love myself regardless of what people say. So no more makeup for me. This is the new norm without makeup. So I was like, I'm going to trust. And it's actually amazing when you actually trust the process and you trust people around you. If you have good people around you and you trust that they give you whatever the information they give you, you don't have to implement everything and just create it your own. Like I was listening to that person, I was like, he actually makes sense. I'm not going to make no excuses. He makes sense. And then I was like, no makeup. That was the decision that I've made, and I've trusted the process that I'm a Christian. So if I want to present myself as a Christian, I don't need makeup. I need a good example for younger generation that you don't have to do anything to look good. Makeup is a choice. It has to be a choice, not a must. Basically, sometimes I used to, like, when I go out, it will be a must that is going to be done. So I'm just showing my children that you can do it, you can do makeup, but you're still beautiful as you are. So that is my process in trusting that I am beautiful and God created me the way I am. So whatever you're going through in life, you just have to trust. Like Amanda was saying, in Carol Ann, you guys were going through similar things the same day, but you had to trust. Sometimes you have to stop. There's a thing where I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I've learned this the hard way, that I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. By 7:30, I've done loads of work. But in the day, when I feel like sitting down on the sofa for half an hour or 1 hour, I do it. But before, I never used to do it. I'll be like, I'm wasting time. I've got to work. But now I'm trusting that my health has to come first. And I'm trusting the process that God, the universe, they're watching over me. And I'm going to get things done regardless of what. So Amanda, over to you, please.
I love that you're not wearing any makeup. When I forget to put makeup on and go to work, the kids are always like, are you tired?
Maybe it's in your head. That's why the kids ask.
Yeah, it's funny because they're always like, you look really tired today. I'm like, no, I just forgot to put makeup on. But like if I didn't wear it, I just always look tired. I think that sometimes, like what you said about sitting down and just having some time to watch TV or to relax, and if you are such a driven person, like I think all three of us are, sitting down and watching TV is like, this is a waste of time. I should be doing something. I should be accomplishing something. I didn't get anything done today. And I know that's something that I really struggle with. Like a couple weeks ago, I think it was Mother's Day here. I don't know if it was Mother's Day where you guys are, but it was raining all day here, like no nonstop rain. And my daughter and I, all we did was lay on the couch and watch, like have like a movie marathon. And I was like feeling like bad that we didn't accomplish anything that day. But at the same time, I'm like, I think that's what we both needed, was just a cuddle day, to just cuddle and watch movies and not do anything and be okay with that. And I know that there are lots of people out there who do that all the time, but for me, because I'm such a task-oriented person and I like to accomplish things, it's sometimes really hard for me to have days like that where I don't accomplish anything. And like I didn't even accomplish doing the laundry. Right? And so sometimes I think we have to be gentle with ourselves, especially those overachievers or overly driven people, when we just have to be gentle and take a step back and trust that you just need a day to just do nothing, and that's okay. And I know for me, those days I really struggle. Those are the days that I am struggling, because I don't like to have a day just to do nothing. I like to be accomplishing something and doing something and feeling as though I've accomplished something. And I think that's something that's stuck in my brain that I need to learn how to rewire, to be like, it's okay to just have a rest day. It's okay to sometimes take a step back and not accomplish something in one day. And that really truly believe that you are actually maybe in the process of life accomplishing exactly what you need to do, even though in our society's view, I didn't get much accomplished that day, right? Because we do have to, and then sometimes when you do take days like that, then you're so much more motivated the next day and not feeling tired or overwhelmed or whatever it is. And I think sometimes it's okay to take a break from those things that you're really driving towards, and to trust the process of, there's times where for you to just rest, and there's times for you to work, and there's times for you to trust the process that that things will show up in your life at just the right time. And I think that's something that's sometimes we really struggle with, especially if it's something that you're wanting more than anything in the world, as if you're really wanting that thing to show up in your life and it's not happening for you. It can be so hard. And I know that I've had those feelings a number of times, especially since getting divorced. Like I really wish that somebody wonderful would show up into my life, but I also am not going to settle. And so when I get sad about those sort of things, I'm like, I need to trust the process, that maybe right now it just needs to be me and my daughter, and focus on my career and my books and speaking and reaching out to help other people, to know that if they are in the same spot that I'm in, that things are going to be okay, and to trust that things will work out when they're meant to.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Over to you, Caroline. Do you have any comments to what she said?
It's around the word accomplish, and I think maybe there's a reframing to be had. As you said, Amanda, so maybe rewire your thoughts around it, what you've accomplished, because I think looking at what you've accomplished, that phrase implies that you've actually been doing something, and that you have to have physically something to show for it. So maybe it's actually thinking, well, maybe there's something else that is actually being accomplished here that I can't see. It's not tangible, but actually it's probably far more powerful than anything you could physically have done and have something to show for in the physical world. And I think it's that rewiring, it's that reframing that is what's important to do, because actually you're probably accomplishing something in a spiritual way, in your physical body's health way, because actually the benefits of trusting the process are that you feel calmer, you feel more confident. There is some patience that comes in. When you let go and you go, okay, trust the process, patience is there. And that reminds me of a time when many years ago when I was wanting something to happen, and I remember hearing in my head, patience. And I remember, oh, patience, I want it now. I was stamping my feet in the kitchen and doing this, And then when I eventually calmed down and just let go of that anger and frustration, and just to let myself become calm, and then something happened. A phone call happened, and it was just the person that I needed to speak with. And I just went, okay, I get it. So when you do learn to trust the process, there is patience comes in, because you do realize that there is an order to things. And sometimes we have to just sit and say, do nothing as it appears. But in the background, a lot is happening. And there's divine timing. There's also, it helps you to become more resilient if you can practice just trusting the process, because you bounce back much more quickly. And you can then actually have that awareness of what is happening. And then you become more grateful. You go, like I did in that scenario I just spoke about. I was like, oh, okay. And I really felt gratitude for the process, that realization, okay, thank you, I get it. So gratitude creeps in. So there's lots of benefits around trusting the process and different aspects of it. So how about let's reframing that word accomplishment, and instead of looking at, well, I haven't accomplished anything today, or what have I accomplished? Maybe just ask the universe, what is being accomplished on my behalf by me being this way today, by me just sitting today and taking some time? What actually is being accomplished? Because it takes it off of you, and it's not what have I accomplished? What is actually being accomplished? And just sit in that, and the answer will come. It's amazing. So let's have a reframe of that word and what we're asking.
Yeah, I like the divine carol on basically. Happy says self-care and trusting the process. Thank you, ladies. So yeah, basically, Ngozi Talk Show, the speakers. Ngozi Talk Show has not been, it was Legacy World the Talk and then Ngozi Talk Show. So we've not been Ngozi Talk Show for a long time. So some of the speakers were not showing up. So I basically realized and spoke to one of the speakers, and they were like, there's no growing, so there is no point. You don't have audience, there is no point. And when I spoke to that person, I felt this energy inside of me saying, let whatever will be, will be. And I felt that joy inside when And then I realizing that actually some of the speakers left because they want someone else to work for the audience, and because to be able to get the audience, you have to work for them. You have to work very hard. You have to show up. So that magazine is out, by the way. The one that I was talking about the other day. Have you guys seen it?
No.
So okay, I've not sent you the link. So I'll send you the link. So when those guys approached me and said, we want to promote Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency for free, this is how much we normally charge. And when one of the speakers said to me, it's not growing, it made me realize actually these guys are big speakers. When somebody works like Lisa Nicholson and they come to you and they say, I want to partner with you and I want to advertise for you for free, because I understand that coronavirus has hit lots of companies, but we want to advertise you in the magazine for free. And when you do get clients, so you can work with us, to partner with us. So we want to hopefully you'll be able to find the money through us to actually work with us on Amazon Prime with their channels. So it made me realize actually is what you do, you have to trust whatever you do in life. Even if we, like Carol Annie, we're talking about the background, we don't know what happens, what we don't see, the unseen. There's unseen energy that is working while we are busy, feeling sorry. Hey, Ghost Talk Show, baby. So there's energy that works while we don't see it. So it made me actually realize that actually I need to trust God, because I have handed over everything to God. His process to say, this is where I want Ghost Talk Show to go. And basically, let your way be your way. And it made me realize actually that if any speaker that is questioning me with the audience now, I'm just going to let them go now. I'm not going to hold on to anybody anymore. So that is the process that has been going on. And that's why you guys are seeing people are not turning up, because they believe that the audience are not there. That we don't have enough audience. But I'm trusting the process, because I believe that Ghost Talk Show is going to go further in life. And that is the process that I am trusting. And when that guy approached me, it made me realize actually I don't need to worry about people questioning me about when Ghost Talk Show, what is it growing or what. Because the guy said to me, Nomsa, is very tough to get the audience. And when we look at your social media, you are not a celebrity, but your social media is good, but it's tough to get the audience. It was like, don't give up, whatever you are doing, because people are giving up. We gave up, people in Legacy World Talk, they gave up because 500 views was never enough. But for me, it's not about the views. It's about that one person that messaged me and says, thank you for today, for the talk show. That what matters. The views, they don't matter to me. And I was like, okay, so that's what destroyed the Legacy Wealth Talk. And now on Ghost Talk Show, and some of the speakers were like, and I was like, okay, I've got 7 or 6 speakers. That is good enough for me for now. So that is good enough for me. That's all I need. I've got 19 left now. So I was like, that is good enough for me. So the magazine is out. I'm going to send you guys the link so you can have a look at the magazine. Basically, all the top speakers are there, and Nomsa is there. So you'll see the magazine, Ghost Talk Show, and Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agents. So you have to trust the process. And I just want to thank you guys for speaking up with me, because you guys are one of the speakers that speak up with a Ghost Talk Show. So I want to thank you guys, and hopefully I'm going to take you guys further. Basically, I'm not going to lie to you. Basically, I'm bonkers. I try anything until I get where I need to go. Thanks, Happy. I'll send you the link as well so you can be proud of me as well. So I'm basically, I don't give up. When things get tough, I stop. Like what you were saying, Carol Ann, I stop. I don't make it wrong. I just say, God, what now? Where do I need to go? The moment I ask a question, the solution comes up. Somebody will turn up and comes up with the solution. So you have to trust the process. And the reason I'm telling you this is there might be somebody who is watching and they're thinking, oh, Gossip Talk Show. Gossip Talk Show is beautiful. It's a good platform. I see it as a good platform, but the actually speakers, some of them don't see it as a good platform because it's not enough for the audience. But we have enough audience. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm trusting the process. And for those who didn't know, we are on YouTube as well. Please follow us on YouTube as well. And these girls are always there.
And it is about consistency.
Yeah.
It's about showing up over and over again. And eventually the universe will say, this person means business.
Yeah.
And something will just click into place.
Yeah.
And that's what drew me to you in the first place. When we first had that conversation, I saw you, saying that you were wanting speakers. This was end of last year. And we had a conversation. And that's what drew me to you when we had that conversation. I heard somebody who would not give up. You were someone that spoke to me in the way I like. It's like, yep, not going to give up. Not going to let people take you down. You're going to keep going. You have a vision and you're going to see it through. And that's what I liked. And that's what I'm hearing and I'm experiencing, all the way through. And that's why I stick with you, because it is about consistency. You've got that, the faith, the belief, and trusting the process. So, I really grateful for this opportunity and, for being a part of this. It's been a great adventure, and who knows where it's going to go. And I know you're going to go great places. And there's a part of me going, who can I keep up with this? And it's like, let go of this, let go.
You have got to believe. You have to believe. In life, you have to believe. I don't know about you, Amanda.
Oh, I was just thinking about when things are meant to be, they line up. Like I live in Canada and I in Alberta, and it's very far away from you guys. And if it was because speaking on here is obviously meant to be for me, it just works out. Like I'm able to get up early in the morning and speak before I go to work, before this one gets out of bed, sort of. And if it was a different time or we were in the same time zone, I wouldn't be able to get on and speak and be part of the show. And so I think that when things are meant to be, they do just work out for you perfectly. And I think that's something that we really do need to trust in, is that when things are meant to happen for you, they will. And two, you do have to keep going when people say, oh, you don't have enough followers, or you don't have enough this or that. Well, yeah, because you just started, and nobody gets 100,000 followers overnight. It's something, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Those people, you haven't seen the work that they've done behind the scenes. You haven't seen how many hours they've put in to learn how to, even musicians, they put hours and hours and hours and hours into becoming a good musician, and they don't become an overnight success. They have worked for their whole life up until that point, and then they get a break. And I think the same thing happens with other people who are working towards a goal. When you keep working towards your goal and trusting the process, that eventually the right door will open for you. But if you stopped a week before that door was ready to open for you, then you'll never get there. And so you need to keep slowly doing all the things that you're doing, because you will grow your following. And I'm like you, Nomza. If my book helps one child, then it did its job, right? And so that's how I feel about mine. It's not about the number of followers, it's about the number of people and number of kids that I can help, and that my books will help for teachers and students, and and I have one on divorce for kids going through divorce. So if it can help one kid going through a divorce, then I've done my job. And I think that's something that we really need to trust, especially when social media is so big right now, and people look at numbers and likes and all of those things and place their value on the numbers and likes, and when you're placing your value on those things, you're not really trusting the process either, because you have to start somewhere, and and two, you can't place your value on the number of people that like it. Place your value on the number of people that you can truly help and that you truly touch in an empowering way. And I think that's so important when you're trusting the process, that even just the right person showing up in your life just for that day is the person that you need to talk to, especially when you are feeling like things aren't working out for you.
And I think something you said about your books, if it only helps one person, it's helped one person, you've done your job. And this is something that I speak to about with people writing their story. And people think, oh, I haven't got anything to say, it's not going to help anybody. As I say, if it only helps one person, that one person, it actually creates a ripple effect, and you have helped somebody. And that's, it's not about huge numbers. If it impacts one person's life and makes a difference, then you have already made a difference in the world, because the way that person will then show up actually impacts, and there's a ripple effect around them, and that ripples out. So it is just, one person changed their life, and you never know where that might go. And I remember quite a few years ago now, I went to support Brandon Bayes at one of her journey intensives, and I met up with another journey graduate there, and she came up to me, she said, oh, you saved my life, she said. And I looked at her and I said, what? Why? She said, you shared about Brain Gym with me. And this was quite a few years before, and I completely forgotten about it. She said, you shared that with me. She said, I used that with my daughter. The difference that it made was huge. She said, you saved my life. That was just one person. And I just happened, in a conversation, just shared something with her. So you never know how you might impact someone's life. I had no idea until that moment about the impact that I'd had on that lady's life. So never underestimate what you have to share with anybody and where that might go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people, they think having big following, it does help. On Instagram, I think I have 20,000 followers, but I miss having intimacy with a small following, because I'll find my friends very easy. But now I can't, because it is big. But do they like my post? Some of them, they don't. So having a big following, it doesn't help your business. I was watching Shanda. I don't know if you guys have watched her talk as well. She has about 100 and something K followers. She was saying social media doesn't give you proper business. It's just email marketing. You have to focus on email marketing, because if you look at the business and you see their following and you're like, I'm going to buy their product based on the following, that's not right. So that's what most of people, that's what they do. So for me, following, I have experience with social media. I've done some research inside out. So that's why I don't really care about social media following. I care about the people that are actually following me and interacting with me, because I know that these people, I can help them and they can help me, because there are some people that follow people and they never really talk to you and things like that. Like on LinkedIn, there are some people that I talk to, and whenever they found valuable information, they pass it over to me, and it does help me out as well, like what you were saying, Carol Ann. So you need that intimacy with your following, but if you are big, it basically takes away that intimacy with your followers. So I like the intimacy with my followers, where I have to interact with them. But when you get big, you don't. On LinkedIn, I can't, because it's big on LinkedIn. So I miss when I had 1,000 or 2,000 following. That was fine. But some people don't know that. So, Amanda, what advice do you have for somebody right now who is, we have so many things going on around the world, and they feel like they're giving up? So what advice can you give them, words of encouragement?
I think that no matter what space you're in and no matter how hard things are at this moment, you need to not try to suppress those feelings, but to allow yourself to feel them, and then to trust the process that things will eventually get better, and to have goals and visions of where you want to go, and to trust that the right people will show up at the right time, and that if you keep working towards your goals and working on building yourself and learning constantly, that things will get better. Because I think when we get into those patterns of self-doubt and those patterns of believing that things won't work out, then they're never going to work out. There's that quote that says, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And so I truly believe that you can, as long as you believe in yourself. And even if things aren't showing up the way that we want them to, just to trust and that maybe something even better will come along the way. So that's my advice, is to trust that something better is going to come along for you, even if you're not getting what it is that you want right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amanda. Carol Ann, any words of encouragement?
Yeah, just let go of the fear and stop trying to control your life. Stop trying to figure it out and control it. Let it go. But also, look back. Join up the dots. Notice how there's a pattern of things, events, that's actually got you to here. When you can look back and join up the dots, that helps you to understand and realize what support has been going on in the background. And that does allow you to then let go and trust the process. So every now and again, stop, look back, join up the dots, and just let go of trying to control your life.
Trust the process. So thank you so much. For me, I would say just trust the process, even if you don't know it's going to work. When I'm saying trust the process, I'm not saying just sit down there and wait for things to happen. Take action. That's what business-minded people do. If you ask any billionaires, they will tell you that we make a decision, but we don't know whether it's going to work or not. So just trust the process. Whatever you want to do in life, and just go for it. Don't wait. Carol Ann, this is your favorite word. Don't make it wrong. If things don't work out, don't make yourself wrong. Just keep trying and just get there. I'm basically the example. When I started my business, I didn't know. I just trusted the process. I'm learning each and every step of the way I go. And I have good people around me that are helping me as well. So have good people around you that are going to help you with your business. Whatever you're doing, whether business or personal, just have the right people. I'm surrounded by good people. And that is a choice that I've made, that this is the journey that I want to take. Has the journey been easy? No, it hasn't been easy, but I have God. I have coaches. I have my business coaches, and I'm getting there. Eventually, I know I'm gonna get to where that post where I need to be. That is in my mind. I'm gonna get there. I'll be laughing one day and telling you this is where I needed to be. So thank you so much. Those who are watching Ghosty Talk Show, we are here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please follow us on YouTube as well. We are on YouTube. We started on here, so we are there as well. And live with grace, everyone, and God bless you.